My name is Sophie Brennan. I'm 31 years old. 3 weeks ago, I was lying on a gurney in the emergency room at Providence Medical Center, hemorrhaging 6 hours after giving birth. And I called my mother to ask if she could watch my newborn daughter for a few hours while they figured out if I needed emergency surgery. She said no. Not I'm sorry. I can't not let me see if I can rearrange something. Just no. Your sister has her book club tonight. Sophie, I already committed to watching the kids. You'll have to figure it out. I was hooked up to N4. My blood pressure was dropping. I'd soaked through 3 pads in an hour. The nurse had just told me they were prepping an OR in case the bleeding didn't stop. And my mother chose book club. 48 hours later, my grandfather, my mom's father, the man she'd spent 20 years telling me was cheap, difficult, and too stubborn to reason with, walked into my hospital room, kissed my forehead, and said 5 words that changed everything. I opened the safe, Sophie. Inside that safe was a trust document, a life insurance policy, a property deed, and a letter. All of it dated, notarized, and very specific about who was supposed to inherit what when my grandfather passed. My mother's name wasn't on any of it, but mine was. Welcome back to Revenge Camera Stories, where the camera never blinks and the truth eventually develops. If you've ever been the family backup plan, the one people only call when they need something, this story's for you. Drop a comment and tell me, has a family member ever let you down when you needed them most? And hit subscribe, because what my mother did when she found out about that safe is something you won't want to miss. Let me back up 3 weeks. Because the bleeding didn't start in the eye, it started 6 hours after. I gave birth to my daughter, Lily. I had Lily on a Tuesday morning. Natural delivery, 8 hours of labor, no complications. She was 7 pounds, 4 ounces, with dark hair and my husband Ben's nose. My parents didn't come to the hospital. They knew I was in labor. I texted my mom at 4 a.m. when my water broke. She replied at noon, "Congratulations. Send pics when you can." No visit, no phone call. Just a text 12 hours too late. My sister, Emma, didn't come either. She's 28, married, to kids of her own, and she lives 15 minutes from the hospital. She sent a gift card to Target and a message that said, "Sorry, crazy week." The only family member who showed up was my grandfather, Arthur Brennan, 84 years old, widowed for 6 years, lives alone in the same house in Northeast Portland, where he raised my mom and her 2 brothers. He walked into my hospital room at 3 p.m. with a stuffed elephant under one arm and tears in his eyes. "She's beautiful, Sophie. Just beautiful." He held Lily for an hour. Didn't say much. Just rocked her and hummed something that might have been a lullaby or might have just been Grandpa Arthur being Grandpa Arthur. Before he left, he squeezed my hand. "You call me if you need anything." I mean it. I thought he was just being nice. I had no idea he'd already been planning this for years. I got discharged Wednesday afternoon. Standard 24-hour postpartum observation. Everything looked good. Lily was nursing well. My vitals were stable. Ben and I went home, exhausted but happy. By Wednesday night, I knew something was wrong. I was bleeding. Not the normal postpartum bleeding I've read all the books. Talked to my OB. I knew what to expect. This was different, heavier, and it wasn't slowing down. By Thursday morning, I'd gone through a full pack of overnight pads. I called my doctor's office. The nurse told me to go to the ER immediately. Ben drove. I sat in the passenger seat with a towel under me, holding Lily's car seat in the back with one hand, trying not to panic. At the they took me back right away. Hemorrhage 6 hours postpartum gets you triaged fast. The nurse was calm but moving quickly. for in my left arm, blood pressure cuff on my right. She asked Ben to take Lily to the waiting room while they examined me. That's when I realized we had a problem. Ben's a freelance graphic designer. He works from home. But that morning, he'd gotten a call from a client, a big one. The kind you don't say no to. And he had a video meeting in 30 minutes that he couldn't miss. I can stay, he said. I'll cancel. No, I was trying to think. Trying not to bleed through another pad. You need that client. It's fine. I'll call my mom. She can come get Lily for a few hours. Ben hesitated. You sure? Yeah, go, I'll be fine. He kissed me, kissed Lily, and left. I called my mom. She picked up on the third ring. I could hear voices in the background, music, the TV. Sophie, what's up? Mom, I'm in the air. I'm bleeding pretty bad. And they might need to do surgery. Can you come pick up Lily? Just for a few hours until Ben's done with his meeting. Silence. Then, tonight. Yeah, I'm at Providence. It's like 20 minutes from your house. Sophie, your sister has book club at 7. I told her I'd watch Mason and Every. She's been looking forward to this 4 weeks. I blinked, stared at the ceiling. Mom, I'm hemorrhaging. Can't Ben watch her? Ben has a client meeting. I just told you. What about a friend? I didn't have an answer for that. All my close friends work. It's Thursday at 2 p.m. Mom, please. I just need a few hours. She sighed. The kind of sigh that says you're being difficult. Sophie, I already committed to Emma. She's counting on me. Can't the hospital just? I don't know. Keep the baby there with you? I'm going into surgery, Mom. Well, maybe you should have planned better. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not anger. Just clarity. Okay, thanks anyway. I hung up. The nurse came back in. Everything okay? Yeah. Can you call the social worker? I need to arrange temporary care for my daughter while I'm in the OR. She looked at me for a long moment. You don't have family who can help. No, I said. I don't. I don't know why I called him. Maybe because he was the only one who'd shown up. Maybe because I was desperate. The phone rang twice. Sophie. His voice was sharp, alert. What's wrong? Grandpa, I'm at Providence. I'm bleeding, and they might need to take me into surgery. And I don't have anyone to watch Lily. Ben's working, and Mom. I'm on my way. Grandpa, you don't have to. I'm already in the car. He hung up. 23 minutes later. My 84-year-old grandfather walked into the awaiting room, found the nurse at the desk, and said, I'm here for my great-granddaughter, Sophie Brennan's baby. They brought Lily out. He took her car seat, her diaper bag, and the instructions I'd scribbled on the back of a discharge paper. Then he came to my room. I was prepped for surgery. Gown on, for in. Consent form signed. He stood next to the bed and put his hand on my arm. You focus on getting better. Lily's safe with me. Thank you, Grandpa. He nodded, started to leave. Then he stopped at the door and turned back. Your mother said no. I didn't answer. He nodded again, like he'd confirmed something. Okay, we'll talk when you're home. And he left. I went into surgery an hour later. They stopped the bleeding. Retained placenta. Common enough, but dangerous if it's not caught. I was discharged Saturday morning. Ben picked me up. Grandpa had kept Lily 4 full days. Fed her, changed her, rocked her to sleep. At 84 years old. When we got to his house to pick her up, he was waiting on the porch. He handed Lily to Ben, then looked at me. You come inside for a minute. There's something I need to show you. Grandpa's house is a 1950s ranch. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Wood paneling in the living room that hasn't been updated since 1987. He led me to his bedroom. opened the closet, moved a stack of shoeboxes. Behind them was a small safe built into the wall. He knelt down 84 years old with bad knees and turned the dial. Left, right, left. Opened it. Inside were folders, documents, envelopes. He pulled out one folder, handed it to me. This is a copy. The originals are with my attorney, but I want you to see it now. I opened the folder. The first document was a trust. The Arthur and Margaret Brennan Family Trust, dated 6 years ago, right after my grandmother died. I scanned the pages. Legal language. Beneficiary designations. Then I saw my name. Sophie Marie Brennan, primary beneficiary. The house. The life insurance policy. The savings account. The stocks my grandmother had bought in the 70s and never sold. Total estimated value, $740,000. My mother's name was nowhere on it. I looked up at Grandpa. I don't understand. He sat down on the edge of the bed. Your grandmother and I set this up 6 years ago, after she passed. I wanted to make sure everything went to the person who'd actually take care of it, not the person who'd spend it. Mom doesn't know. She knows there's a trust. She doesn't know she's not in it. Why me? He looked at me with those pale blue eyes that had seen 84 years of this family. Because you're the one who shows up. Sophie, you showed up when your grandma was sick. You showed up when I had my hip surgery. You show up every Sunday for dinner even when you're exhausted from work. Your mother shows up when she needs something. I felt my throat tighten. Grandpa, I'm not doing this to punish her. I'm doing this because I trust you, and because I know when I'm gone, you'll make sure this family doesn't fall apart. I looked at the trust document again, at my name in black ink, at the notary seal, at the date, 6 years. He'd been planning this for 6 years. When were you going to tell her? When I die, the attorney will notify all parties. She'd find out then. She's going to be furious. Let her be furious. I'll be dead. He said it so plainly that I almost laughed. Grandpa, this is a lot of money. It's your money. Yours and Lily's. I want you to use it to build something. A house, a business, college fund. I don't care. Just don't let your mother guilt you into giving her a dime. I nodded. I didn't know what else to do. There's one more thing. He reached into the safe and pulled out a letter, handwritten my grandmother's handwriting. She wrote this a week before she died. She wanted you to have it when the time was right. I think the time's right. I took the letter. Didn't open it. Not yet. Thank you, Grandpa. He stood up, hugged me. You're a good mother, Sophie. Better than mine ever was. I read the letter that night after Lily was asleep. It was 3 pages, front and back. My grandmother's careful cursive. Dearest Sophie, if you're reading this, I'm gone and your grandfather has finally opened the safe. Good that. Man keeps secrets longer than anyone I've ever known. I need you to understand something. I love your mother. I always have. But love doesn't mean blind trust. And it doesn't mean handing someone the keys to everything you've built just because they're blood. Your mother has always been the kind of person who takes, not maliciously. She expects people to give, to accommodate, to rearrange. And when you've lived your whole life having people do that for you, you stop seeing it as a gift. You start seeing it as an obligation. I watched her do it to you. I watched her call you at midnight when Emma needed a babysitter. I watched her borrow money and never pay it back. I watched her take and take and take. And I watched you give and give and give because that's who you are. And I thought if I leave her everything, she spend it in 5 years. She buy things. She bail out Emma. She help your uncle pay off his truck. And there won't be anything left for the person who actually needs it. So I'm leaving it to you. Not because I love you more, but because I trust you more. Use it wisely. Build something. And don't let her make you feel guilty for being the one who was chosen. I love you, sweet girl. Grandma Margaret. I read it 3 times. Then I folded it and put it back in the folder with the trust. I didn't tell Ben about the money. Not yet, I needed time to think. But I knew one thing for sure. My mother was going to find out eventually. And when she did, this whole family was going to implode. 2 weeks later, my mom called. Sophie, we're doing Sunday dinner at Grandpa's this week. He specifically asked for you to come. Bring Ben and the baby. Did he say why? No, he just said it was important. Emma and Jeff are coming. Uncle Ray, too. I felt my stomach drop. Okay, what time? 5. I hung up and immediately called Grandpa. Did you tell her? No, but I think it's time. I'm 84, Sophie. I'm not getting younger. And I don't want her finding out from a lawyer after I'm dead. I want her to hear it from me. With witnesses. Grandpa, you deserve to know you're protected. And she deserves to know she's not entitled. I didn't argue. I couldn't. Sunday, we showed up at 5. Mom and Emma were already in the kitchen. Uncle Ray was on the couch watching football. Grandpa was at the head of the table, calm as ever. We ate pot roast, mashed potatoes, the same meal Grandma used to make. After dessert, Grandpa stood up. I need to talk to you all about something. The room went quiet. He pulled out a folder, the same one he'd shown me, handed it to my mother. This is my trust. I had it drawn up 6 years ago with Margaret. I'm giving you all copies tonight so there's no confusion later. Mom opened it, started reading. I watched her face change. Confusion, then understanding. Then something cold. Dad, my name's not on this. I know. Why is Sophie's name on this? Because she's the primary beneficiary. Emma looked up from her phone. Wait, what? Uncle Ray set down his beer. Mom's voice went sharp. Dad, I'm your daughter. I know. Then why? Because in the last 6 years, Sophie's the one who's been here. You've been here when you needed something. There's a difference. That's not fair. It's completely fair. This is my money, my house, and I'm leaving it to the person I trust. Mom stood up. You trust her more than your own daughter. Yes. The word hung in the air like smoke. Emma looked at me. Did you know about this? He told me 2 weeks ago. And you didn't say anything. It's not my trust. Emma, it's his. Mom was shaking. Not crying. Just shaking. After everything I've done for you. Grandpa cut her off. What have you done for me, Linda? Tell me, because I'd like to know. Silence. Sophie came every Sunday for 5 years. She drove me to every doctor's appointment after my hip surgery. She sat with your mother every single day the last month she was alive. What did you do? Mom's mouth opened, closed. You called when you needed money. You called when Emma needed a babysitter. You called when you wanted something. But you didn't call when Sophie was bleeding in the ER. I froze. She called you. Asked you to watch her newborn baby for a few hours while she went into surgery. And you said no because Emma had book club. Mom's face went white. I know because Sophie called me. And I drove across town at 84 years old to take care of my great-granddaughter because her own grandmother couldn't be bothered. Emma looked at Mom. You said no. Mom didn't answer. Grandpa sat back down. This trust stands. Sophie gets the house, the savings, the stocks, and the life insurance. You get nothing. And before you threaten to contest it, know that I've had 3 separate attorneys review it. It's airtight. Mom grabbed her purse. Come on, Emma, we're leaving. Emma didn't move. Mom! No. They left. Uncle Ray stayed. Drank his beer. Looked at me. Good for you, kid. My mother didn't speak to me for 3 weeks. Then she sent a text. We need to talk. We met at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. She didn't apologize for she didn't apologize for book club. She apologized for overreacting at dinner. I was shocked, Sophie. You have to understand. I do understand. But that doesn't change anything. He's my father. And I'm your daughter. And you chose Emma's book club over my surgery. She looked down at her coffee. That's not fair. It's completely fair. She left 20 minutes later. We haven't spoken since. Emma called me last week. Said she was sorry. Said she didn't realize how much I'd been doing for Grandpa all these years. I just assumed Mom was handling it, she said. She wasn't. I know that now. We're trying. It's slow, but we're trying. Grandpa's still alive. Still living in that house. Still eating pot roast on Sundays. I visit every week. So does Lily. And every time I leave, I think about that safe. About the trust. About my grandmother's letter. Don't let her make you feel guilty for being the one who was chosen. I don't feel guilty anymore. I feel grateful. It's been 3 months since that dinner. Grandpa's health is stable. He's still sharp. Still stubborn. Still refuses to let me hire someone to help around the house. The trust is filed. The attorney has copies. My name is on everything. My mother tried once to convince Grandpa to reconsider. He told her no. She hasn't asked again. Lily's 4 months old now, healthy, happy. Grandpa holds her every Sunday and hums that same non-song. Ben knows about the trust now. He cried when I told him. Not because of the money. Because of the letter. Your grandma saw you, he said. Really saw you. Yeah, she did. I'm not spending the money. Not yet. It's sitting in the trust. Growing, waiting. When Grandpa passes, and I hope that's a long time from now, I'll use some of it for Lily's college. Some for a down payment on a house. Maybe some for Ben's business. But I'll keep most of it. Because that's what Grandma wanted. She wanted me to build something that lasts. Not for me. For Lily, for the next generation. For the family member who shows up. Because that's what this was always about. Not punishment. Not revenge. Just trust. And my grandmother trusted me with something my mother never earned. The right to carry this family forward. Thank you for staying with me through this one. I want to ask you something. If you were in my position, would you have told your mother about the trust before that dinner? Or would you have let her find out the way she did? Tell her or let her find out in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. If this story reminded you to check in on the family members who actually show up for you, do that today. Call them, text them. Let them know they matter. And if you've ever been the one who shows up, the one who rearranges their life, who drops everything, who says yes when everyone else says no, this is your reminder that you're not crazy for expecting the same in return. Hit that like button if this one resonated. Subscribe if you want more stories about family, boundaries, and what happens when the people who take finally realize they're not entitled. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for being here.